Hello, everybody, and welcome to Commodity Culture, where our goal is to make you a better investor in the commodities sector. My name is Jesse Day, and on this episode, I'm joined by Gerald Celente, publisher of the Trends Journal and best-selling author of Trend Tracking, Trends 2000, and more. We're diving into the top trends he believes investors should be following in 2025, getting his thoughts on gold's historic run and how much further it could climb, whether Trump could bring an end to both the war in Ukraine and in the Middle East, and so much more. Gerald, as always, was fired up today. I'm sure you will be too. Strap yourselves in for my conversation with Gerald Celente. Gerald Celente, it is great to have you back on the program. I want to kick things off because you are a trend forecaster with a great track record, the publisher of the Trends Journal. What are the main trends that you're currently watching when it comes to financial markets, the economy, and geopolitics that you think will shape 2025?
Well, in trend forecasting, we say that all things are connected, whereas Chief Seattle had said, all things are connected like the blood which unites us all. So you have to look at the whole picture. And all the things you mentioned are going to affect the economy and geopolitics, et cetera. So if you're going to talk about geopolitics, how about oil prices? Well, Brent crude is, it's been hanging around the $77 a barrel for Brent crude. Could that change? Well, if the economy keeps going down, the prices will go down. Oh, yeah, but how about the war in Ukraine and the Israel war? How about if they go to war with Iran? It's going to rack up oil prices to Brent like about $130 a barrel, and that'll crash the equity markets and the global economy. Could anybody forecast where it's going? Well, we look at all the data coming out. And one week they say we got to bomb those Iranian nuclear plants. And the next week they say they won't. So you don't know what they're going to do. So we're looking at that, but looking at the whole picture, there's a global slowdown. You're seeing country after country, except the United States, lowering their interest rates because their economies are going down. The UK, India, the ECB, Europe, one after another lowering interest rates because their economies are going down. The media is calling, for example, what's going on in the UK, they're calling it stagflation. It's not stagflation, it's dragflation. The economy is going down, inflation is going up. So what does that mean to oil prices? Well, less demand. Yeah, but if the wars go on, oil prices are going to go up. Oh, and they put sanctions, right? Trump just put sanctions on Russia, more sanctions on Iran to stop selling their oil. So you don't know how this game's going to play out. It's a freak show because the freaks are in charge. You look at the cover of our magazine this week. It's the politicians are zookeepers and we're just animals in a cage. That's all they look at us as. Hey, I'm the president. I'll tell you what to do. And listen, everybody out there, shut your mouth. You have no right to think for yourself or speak out unless you're a billionaire. I got to hear the crap spewing out of Musk's mouth every damn day. Hey, shut the hell up, you little guinea from the Bronx. I'm Musk. I'm the richest man in the world. You're just a piece of shit like everybody else out there. You got it? So you ask me where things are going. You got a crime syndicate running a country near you. And that's the word as I see country. That's the way it is. So now you go on to gold prices. Whoa. What's one of your top trends for 2024 from the Trends Journal? Oh, a golden year for gold. Oh, gold only went up 25% last year. And now look at it. Look how it's skyrocketing. How come? Again, tariffs. And again, whether you're for or against them, not the issue. Concern about inflation going up. Geopolitical unrest. And that's where you see things going. So that's the picture. And we got a guy that's no president in modern history is more authoritarian than Trump. And again, I can't stand either one of them. To me, it's a crime syndicate. and by their deeds you shall know them. What's your favorite war? Hey, I'm a bankster. Yeah, we screwed up the country with the when the dot-com bust, not the dot-com bust, the housing crisis. Hey, you don't have a job? You got no money? You're deep in debt? Don't worry about it. Sign over here. You can't get a subprime mortgage. And what did the banksters do? The Federal Reserve gave them $29 trillion, according to the Levy Institute of Bard College, to bail out the banksters. They're a crime syndicate. You could go broke. Who the hell cares? I don't give a damn. Hey, but I'm Jamie Dimon. We're only convicted of 5 felonies. 5 felonies. Oh, rigging the precious metals market. Yeah, we only paid $900 million. Shut the hell up. And I'm Jamie Dimon. All right? Where are things going? It's a crime syndicate in every damn country.
Hey guys, just a quick break to hear from today's sponsor, ARC, Silver, Gold, Osmium. They offer personalized service and competitive prices with no minimum purchase for silver, gold, platinum, or osmium. Here's just some of the comments left on this YouTube channel about ARC SGO and owner Ian Everard. Have bought from ARC, good source and price. I cannot say enough good about Ian and his company. He is the most honest individual I could find in order to buy precious metals. If you are looking to buy precious metals, I recommend Ian at ARC Silver. He is a straight shooter. So go to arcsgo.com and contact Ian Everard today at 307-264-9441 or by email at ian@arcsgo.com, and make sure to tell him that Commodity Culture sent you. Now, interesting thoughts about Trump there, because there's been quite a lot of polarization, obviously, in the U.S., and I think personally that both candidates were terrible. I think Trump is maybe a little bit of a prettier mayor at the glue factory type of scenario, but it seems like there's this cult of personality around him. And, you know, a lot of my viewers as well, I'm going to get angry comments saying how great Trump is. I'm positive. But since taking office, he's been moving forward at a breakneck speed, threatening people with tariffs, talking about making Canada the 51st state. I'm going to take over Greenland, the Panama Canal, on and on. Now he's talking about displacing the Palestinians from Gaza and turning it into some sort of resort and sending them to other Middle Eastern countries. I mean, what do you make of Trump's presidency so far? Why are there still so many who believe he's truly going to make America great again? It feels like the people have had the wool pulled over their eyes, in my opinion. How do you see it?
Again, people believe the crap they want to swallow. I mean, how could anybody call themselves a Republican or a Democrat, a conservative or a liberal? How about being open-minded about all issues? But they're not. Again, look at it. Again, it's one shithead after another, different president. And again, we just, in the Trends Journal this week, in our economic update, we said on the Trump side, which is king of Trumps, never in modern history has a newly elected president changed the game, called the shots, taken over power, signed as many executive orders in such a short time, 3 weeks, as has President Donald Trump. That's a fact. No one's ever done it before. Sign as many executive orders as they want. And hey, all you Trump lovers, hey, I'm going to run for, I'm a candidate Trump. When I get into office, I'm going to end that Ukraine war in 24 hours. How are you going to end it in 24 hours? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to do it. Hey, it got some. It's 3 weeks later. The war's still going on. Oh, and after you got elected, you said you were going to end it before you took office. Hey, shut the hell up. It's going to be another 100 days. And when I'm elected, I'm going to put 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Hey, you got elected. You didn't put tariffs on. What happened? Well, I'm putting them on. I put them on February 1st. Yeah, but you took them off on February 3rd, and now you said you're going to wait another 30 days. One lie after another. One bullshit after another. Oh, you want? How about this for Trump bullshit? Here we go. Let's go back to January 23rd. Not ancient history, but totally forgotten. Trump talked to the Davos gang. Here's what he said. He said, demanded that interest rates, there's a quote, he would demand that interest rates drop immediately when he got elected. He would demand it. All right? After the Fed, the next week, held interest rates where they are, this is what he said. Holding the rates at this point was the right thing to do. Hey, fat mouth, you just said last week that he would demand that interest rates drop immediately. Okay, now let's go. Hey, did you see the latest numbers that came out with the inflation rate? Just came out 3% 12-month inflation rate, 3.3% when excluding food and energy. And what did Trump say today? Let's see what he said. He said that interest rates should be lowered, something which would go hand in hand with upcoming tariffs. Hey, wait a minute. You just, all right? And how stupid can anybody be to swallow the crap spewing out of his mouth? It's one piece of baloney after another. The facts are all there. The facts are all there. Yep. He goes on to say, yep. Asked if statements by elected officials. Anyway, so there you go. So we don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah. Do you think there's any good that Trump is doing? Is there any merit to the dirtiest shirt in the laundry hamper argument? He does appear to be taking some positive steps forward, cutting these DEI initiatives and putting this Doge committee together. Whether is that all smoke and mirrors? Is there anything positive coming out of his term in your view?
I think that's all positive. Cut the damn government to nothing. And I'm in favor of tariffs if you get rid of income tax, because once upon a time, America didn't have income tax. A slimy piece of shit made rotten hell, Woodrow Wilson, who gave us World War I. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy, a Yankee Doodle do or die. Yeah, that guy. What the hell are we doing over there? Gave us the Federal Reserve, gave us federal income tax, and gave us the IRS. Before that, there were no federal income tax. We got our money from tariffs. I'm up here in Kingston, New York, 90 miles north of New York City. Used to be factories all around here. Again, shirt factories, all factories all over the. Oh, there was no such thing as Rust Belts before. It used to be made in America. Again, totally, it's going to take time. Made in America is the way it should be. I have dishes that my aunt, may she rest in peace, had Syracuse china from Syracuse, New York. West Virginia, we're making all kinds of glass things all over the country. Oh, and then that slime ball, a little piece of scum crap, Slick Willie Clinton, gave us NAFTA. Hey, get the jobs down in Mexico. You get cheap labor, you make more money. And then he brought China into the World Trade Organization. You look at China's GDP from 1970 to 2001 when they got in the trade organ 2 weeks after 9/11. Whoop, economy shot up. What happened? From Europe to the United States, top manufacturers went over there, gave China all the manufacturing, high-tech, heavy industry that they never had before, didn't know what to do. Now they know how to do it. So let's go back to why I agree with tariffs. Again, all things are connected in trend forecasting. Let's go back to the Ukraine war. What does Ukraine war have to do with tariffs? And what does that have to do with America? Okay. Biden, a little piece of scum crap, draft dodger, 5 draft deferments, but loved every war. That clown puts tariffs on Russia when the Ukraine war started. Putin's going to pay the price. Quote. We said, no, he's not. Russia has all the human and natural resources they need to be self-sufficient and self-sustaining. All those companies that pulled out of Russia, Russians took them over. No more McDonald's, no more Burger King, no more Starbucks. Yep, they all took over all these. They became self-sustaining. Their economy went up. America could become a self-sustaining economy. We have all the human and natural resources we need to do so. You have every natural resource? No, but you have most of them. So tariffs make you more self-sustaining and self-sufficient. And not my quote, but from McKinley, the president, back before he got assassinated, and his tariffs, he said, what do you want, cheap products or higher wages? So when you had manufacturing, you had higher wages. But now there's another whole game coming in. Like they're opening manufacturing plants, but they're still not paying people a lot of money. And foreign countries are coming in and opening the plants rather than American companies opening the plants. So it's a toss-up. But I think long-term, if they keep it going, it would be a positive.
Well, let's pull on the gold thread here. You mentioned it at the top of the show. You called 2024 a golden year for gold. That certainly bore out to be true. It looks like gold could be headed to 3,000 sooner rather than later, hovering around 2,900 as we speak here today. With the massive debt and deficits in the West, geopolitical uncertainty on the rise, a general underinvestment in the gold sector, not only the metal, but the miners, is there a case for gold to continue to climb? Could 2025 also be a golden year for gold?
Yes, it can. And again, nothing goes straight up or straight down. Gold could have a big correction. It could go down $200-300 an ounce, but it's still way up there. So let's say it goes down $300 an ounce. It brings let's say it goes down to 2,600. What was it in 2024, January? $2,041. So it's still up. There's going to be corrections. Nothing goes straight up or straight down. But long term, we're very positive on it because there's geopolitical unrest, there's socioeconomic uncertainty. And with this is going to be a president like this country's never seen in modern history. By the way, I had lunch with his brother, Robert, back in 2017. He passed away, Robert. He had a restaurant over here in Wassaic. He was helping to run over there. I was with him for about 3 hours. Very nice guy. And he went on to tell me that when the father died, I think it was like father died in 2002, that he left a family over $500 million worth of real estate. Trump is nothing more than a little spoiled daddy's boy. Born on third base and thought he had a home run. We're the same age. I tell a story. It's a matter of fact, it's one of my books. This is my favorite book of everything I've written, what Cincy gave Honey Boy. Cincy's the Neapolitan dialect for auntie. And these are my other books, by the way. Trend Tracking, far better than Megatrends, Time Magazine. Trends 2000, international bestseller. Trends Journal, I've been writing that since 1991. I write in this book about growing up in the Bronx. I was the youngest of 5. Born 1946, right after the war. America's at the height of the spirit. They couldn't control me. Every time I got out of hand, me, my brothers, my parents, may they rest in peace, you little bastard, we're going to send you to military school. That was the greatest threat. If you don't behave, you're going to military school. I'll be good, I'll be good. My mother, may she rest in peace, a great Italian woman, food was terrific. If you're going to eat that crap in military school, I'm going to get dressed up in a little costume and told when to go to bed, when to wake up. Trump was so narcissistic, they sent him to military school. And the military school is about 30 minutes south of me over here, in a place called Cornwall, New York, in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere. That's how narcissistic he was. They sent him to military school because they couldn't control him. And he's out of control. He is a dictator. He's going to do everything he wants to do. And again, I totally agree with this, getting rid of all these stupid bureaucrat jobs. Cut this crap out. Whether it's not only government, the federal government, get rid of them locally, city, state. I was the assistant to the secretary of the New York State Senate. I worked on major political campaigns in Westchester County. I got pictures of me when I picked up Ronald Reagan at Chicago Hilton and put on a brunch for 16 of our board of directors. I was on the other side. That's why I know what I know. The bureaucrats are the lowest pieces of scum crap, other than politicians, that can't get a job in the real world and suck off the public tip. So I totally support getting rid of that crap. But on the other hand, his dictatorial, hey, you're against the genocide in Gaza? Get out of this country. Oh, yeah, you just signed that thing. Did you see that? You protest in college? Yeah. So that's what's going on. It's a toss-up.
Very interesting thoughts. I want to pull on the thread. Now, you've discussed why you're bullish on gold. I'm wondering, when you're looking at financial markets today, outside of the precious metals, is there anywhere you're seeing value? Do you think this is a time to remain cautious with dry powder on the sidelines in the expectation of a potential crash? Are you seeing value anywhere in the markets, or would you be all in on cash right now?
I'm not a good market guy. It's not my specialty, but looking at the bigger trends, what no one is talking about, only the Trends Journal, the office building bust. Your office vacancy rate, meaning nobody there in the 10 largest cities, according to Moody's, 20% vacant. The COVID war started 5 years ago, right? Work at home trend, hybrid work. Okay. Now, yeah, people are going back to work, but still a lot of companies say, yeah, stay home. I don't need all this office space. I had 10 floors over there. People are in cubicles. I don't see them anyway. Yeah, stay home, come in 3 days a week. Now the leases are coming up. According to the data, between $2 to $4 trillion worth of commercial real estate loans are coming due this year and next year. There's going to be defaults on these offices. Here, last year, not ancient history, 2024, Midtown Manhattan, 50th Street. The building that sold in 2006 is either 312 million or 320 million, I forgot. Went up for auction. Sports Illustrated used to be their offices. It sold for $8.5 million. It's in the middle of the block. No windows here, no windows there, no windows in the back. No, you can't convert them to housing. Buildings built within the last 50 years are non-convertible, according to the data. There's going to be defaults on commercial office buildings that's going to bring down banks. No one's talking about it. The banks got all that dough when they started pumping in all that cheap money to fight the COVID war, trillions of dollars, and zero interest rates. So the treasuries that got are worth nothing. They don't have the money to back these losses. Let's go back to 2023. 3 banks, Silicon Conman Valley Bank, First Republic, and Signature Bank. But went bust. Poof, down went the markets, up went gold. That was 3 banks. And this is global, by the way. Canary Wharf over there. Oh, yeah, you don't want to be there anymore, do you? No, leaving. I'm telling you, there's going to be a banking bust that no one's talking about. There are wild cards out there. And they're not being shown. There's no journalism anymore. It's dead. Dead. People only watch what they want. They don't have open minds anymore. They're prostitutes. They're media whores that get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and government whoremasters. Oh, need more proof? Look at all the people that Trump brought in from Fox. It's a joke. Oh, now his what? His daughter-in-law just got a job with Fox? I mean, it's one after another. Psaki was over the show. She's in the. It's one. They're not journalism. It's gone. So they're not reporting the facts. We're giving everything we can with the Trends Journal. Everything.
I want to go back to Trump declaring he was going to end the Russia-Ukraine conflict on day one of his presidency. Of course, that did not happen. However, he's recently sent Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent to Ukraine to negotiate. He posted on Truth Social, "This war must and will end soon." He also claimed in a Fox interview that Ukraine promised to give $500 billion worth of rare earths to the U.S. in exchange for all the money they've sent to support the war effort. Is this just off-the-wall nonsense? What are your thoughts? Do you think this war could actually be coming to an end soon? And is Ukraine really going to give rare earths in the tune of $500 billion to the U.S.?
By the way, I believe if Trump was president in February 2022, when the Ukraine war began, the United States would not have supported it, and it would have ended quicker. I totally believe that. And I also believe that he's going to start cutting off and I believe he will try to end the Ukraine war. I got banned from TikTok. We put up a post of me saying 3 weeks ago that Ukraine will do everything to keep this war going. For instance, like bombing a false flag event or bombing a nuclear power plant. What did they do? I got banned for saying that. Permanently banned for TikTok. What did they do next week after I did forecast that? They tried to bomb a nuclear power plant in Russia, and drones shot down. They shot down the drones going into the nuclear power plant. Ukraine's going to do everything they can to keep this war going, and I truly believe that Trump is going to do everything he can to stop it. And by the way, we had in the Trends Journal, and I have it right here, we had written about how the Ukraine war began back in 2014 when the United States overthrew the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych. And people have no idea about that. Is this it? Yep, here it is. Here's the article. Written by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts. Washington is driving the world to the final war. This is in 2014. Washington concluded that Russia needed to be confronted with or distracted by problems that would leave the Russian government less confident or able to counter Washington's aggression elsewhere. Ukraine presented the perfect opportunity for Washington to advance its hegemonic agenda. In a speech at the National Press Club last December, meaning December 2013, Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland boasted that Washington had invested $5 billion in non-governmental organizations in Ukraine for the purpose of the NGOs to teach democracy. They overthrew the government of Yanukovych. People have no idea about this. They have no idea about how the Ukrainians were killing the Russians in the Donbass region of Ukraine that didn't agree with the overthrow of Yanukovych, 15,000 of them. They have no idea about this. So I believe if Trump was in office, that the Ukraine war would not have escalated. And as much as he's BS'd about stopping it in 24 hours, I think he's going to do everything he can to stop it.
Well, I hope people can read between the lines here, because people in the comments always get so fired up when it comes to any negativity about their chosen political savior, whether it be Trump or somebody else. And you're taking a more subtle stance in that there's certain aspects you can admit Trump is moving forward with and that are positive, and yet you're also calling him on his bullshit. So I love that. I think more people need to be open-minded and willing to sit in the middle as opposed to be so polarized on one side or the other.
Well,
I want to
stop
talk
that. But just for one moment.
Yeah.
If you had a friend or a colleague or somebody you're working with, I mean, wouldn't you have the same kind of an opinion about agreeing and disagreeing with them? Or you got to love them no matter what? Oh, yeah, I know. Everybody has a perfect marriage. Never have any arguments in it. So that's what I'm saying. Look at it in real life rather than as a politician. Now, grow the hell up. It's life.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. I want to talk about Jerome Powell because he went on the record during a recent Senate Banking Committee session and said that under his leadership, the Federal Reserve would never create a central bank digital currency. Do you believe his testimony? Does his insurance give you any comfort when it comes to the potential rollout of a CBDC? What are your thoughts on this?
Powell's full of shit. Hey, there's no inflation. You're full of crap, Celente. It's only transitory. There's no inflation. It's only temporary. Oh, you forgot that? How inflation's skyrocketing and that clown is bullshitting us? So they could keep artificially pumping up the economy during the COVID war? Oh, by the way, that's what the politicians called the COVID thing when it began. We're at war. Trump called it that. A little Boris Johnson, a little clown jerk over there, one after another. Why would anybody believe Powell? Why would anybody believe what he's going to do? I believe there's going to be a central bank digital currency, and they're going to do it. They're going to do it because there's no way in the world they're going to be able to pay off the debt. We got a new currency worth more than the old dirty cash. They're going to make up something. Again, I always say, people sometimes call me a futurist. I said, nobody could call the future. I said, there are too many wild cards, whether made by nature or human. So let's go back to 2012. I thought the markets would crash. They didn't teach me about zero interest rate policy or quantitative easing in Economics 101 at graduate school. Quantitative easing, what the hell are you talking about? They're going to do anything they can. The world is going to go central bank digital currency, CBDC. We see that as the future. We don't believe a word spewing out of the clown mouth of Powell. And again, Trump also said with tariffs, he'd get rid of income tax, as they did when they had tariffs. And again, get rid of the Federal Reserve. We have no right having that crime syndicate, banks to bandits, that are telling us what to do. This was one of the covers of the Trends Journal. Could you see that?
Yep.
It was back in 2011. Nothing's changed. They're a crime syndicate.
Well, speaking of the Fed, there's now talk that Ron Paul will potentially be heading up an audit of the Federal Reserve. Elon Musk has been posting about this on X. I spoke to Ron Paul on this show, actually, talking about his roadmap to ending the Fed. Do you think we could see this become a reality? That would kind of go in opposition to the CBDC scenario you're seeing. Or is this just, putting some sort of promotional material out there about it, getting people's hopes up, get them on the bandwagon, and ultimately having it not really come to fruition in the way people expect?
I think it could happen. I think if he'd bring Ron Paul in, that's the last person, by the way, I voted for president.
It makes sense.
I think it was 2012. And I spoke at one of his events in 2023 as well. And I totally admire what he does on the and the Fed. And I think it'd be true. I think there's going to be a number of positive things coming out of the Trump administration. But I'm concerned about his geopolitical situation. Hey, take that land and let's turn it into a Riviera with the Gazans. If Hamas doesn't release the hostages on Saturday, there's gonna be hell to be paid over there. Hell to be paid. You gave them 2,000-pound bombs to bomb the place into ruins. Oh, again, in your Trends Journal back last year in March, what happened? Oh, we wrote about his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. That's very valuable waterfront property, and the Palestinians should be moved into the Negev desert. Oh, Jared Kushner? Oh, when Netanyahu used to come to America, he stayed at the Kushner's house? Oh, that one? Oh, the Trump that he got $100 million from Sheldon Adelson, another $100 million from his wife, and moved the United States Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem? Hey, you know that land you stole over there from Syria? It's yours. Oh, that Trump? This pro-Zionist group that he brought in there? That little clown, Huckleberry, Hucklejerk, that's the ambassador to Israel? There's no such thing as settlements. God gave Israel this land 3,500 years ago. God spoke to Abraham. Hey, Junior, shove your crap down your throat. I got to believe this fairy tale. What if I don't believe in your God? Not telling you to believe in mine. Hey, and what did God got lockjaw? The last person he talked to was Abraham. I got to believe this fairy tale. So Israel is going to keep that Syria. They're going to keep killing over there. They won't leave. Violated the ceasefire in Syria. Keep killing Palestinians in Gaza. Cut off more aid coming in. And Trump supports it. So I'm totally opposed to it. And I'm an American. He said the United States has the authority to decide what goes on in Gaza. No, it doesn't. We have no right being there. How about reading George Washington's farewell address, a real man that fought? Do not become involved in any foreign entanglements. Don't love a nation, don't hate a nation. If you do, you become a slave to them.
I want to talk about China for a moment here. You mentioned them earlier, how their GDP went up following the World Trade Organization. They currently seem to be quite an economic powerhouse. Some people are pointing to them as the next great economic superpower. Yet in the West, we see headlines every day that China's on the verge of collapsing. We've been seeing them for years and years. Obviously, they have real estate issues. They have a lot of their own issues, as every country does. How do you see China's economy developing moving forward and their role in the geopolitical landscape?
At one time, we said the 20th century was the American century, but the 21st century would be the Chinese century, because the business of China is business and the business of America is war. We changed that because China started the COVID war in January 2020, the year on the Lunar New Year, the year of the rat. They had 3 years of zero COVID policy. They locked down the country, draconian policy. They destroyed their economy. With every boom, there's a bust. Again, when China came into the World Trade Organization, whoop, their GDP shot right up. They overbuilt. With all booms, there's a bust. They made a very bad boom, a worse bust by locking down the joint for 3 years. So this is going to be a rough road ahead, but they're going to be self-sufficient and self-sustaining. So long term, they're going to do okay. And you just saw what happened with the DeepSeek. And how it just took it. And by the way, we're forecasting a dot-com bust. And we had forecasted once before. Back in your Trends Journal, here it is. Back in 1999, right here, dot-com bust. We said it would bust by the second quarter of 2000. They're over-investing. AI is the future. No question about it. But they're over-investing in companies that are startups. And it's like, AI, trends are born, they grow, they mature, reach old age, and die. AI was just born, what, in 2022? It's like the automobile being born in, let's say 1910. The engine and the cars that they had back then, are you going to invest and say that's going to be the engine and the car for the rest of the automobile life? Of course not. So everybody invested in NVIDIA, for example, being that we need these big chips and this is going to be the future of AI. And China's saying, no, you don't. We need smaller chips. This is just beginning. And they're very advanced technologically. Don't believe me? How about Trump saying, yeah, we're going to cut off immigration, but you can bring in those H-1B visas because we need that cheap Chinese and Asian tech guys. They're advanced over there. It's new generations. So China is going to become more and more self-sufficient and self-sustaining. They got 1.4 billion people. You look at the luxury sales going way, 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 way down because they're not buying in China for the reason that the economy is really hurting them, but also more and more products people are buying made in China. Just how Trump wants the tariffs for America to be made in USA, the Chinese are going to be doing the same thing, made in China. And they're investing more and more in Belt and Road initiatives and other areas while the United States keeps investing in war.
Well, Gerald, this has been a fantastic conversation. I always love having you on the show. You've spoken a bit about the Trends Journal already. Maybe you could give us some more details. Where can people find it? And tell us some more info.
Just go to trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com. And it's only the grand total of $2.56 a week. Before we went on the air, As trend forecasters, we look at everything. I get delivered the Wall Street Journal and New York Times. Not one article from either paper trendworthy that we could use. So again, we talk about, for example, the Israel war. We subscribe to Haaretz, the Israeli newspaper. We go to Times of Israel. We go to Jerusalem Post. I want to hear what the Israelis are saying. Oh, we go to IRNA, ISNA, Tehran Times, Press TV. We want to hear what the Iranians have to say. We go to Arab News. We go to Al Jazeera. We want to hear what the Arabs have to say. We go around the world. This is what they're saying. This is our analysis. And this is where we see it going. So there's no propaganda in there. None. And we're giving people everything they can. I'm telling you, I've been at this for 45 years. Never in my life have I seen times more volatile. And this is a time to prepare and prevail to prosper. And the only way you do it, as we see it, is looking at the trends, seeing where they're going. And we try to give people history before it happens. Trendsjournal.com.
Fantastic. I will put a link in the description below. And for the viewers of this show, if you use the coupon code COMMODITY, that's all capital letters, you will get 10% off your subscription. So thank you so much, Gerald, for that. And thank you once again for coming on the show. I cannot wait for our next discussion.
Thank you. And thank you for all that you do and the great guests that you have on.
And thank you for joining us today. This episode is brought to you by ARC, silver, gold, osmium for all your precious metals needs. Head to arcsgo.com and contact owner Ian Everard today at 307-264-9441 or by email at ian@arcsgo.com, and make sure to tell him that Commodity Culture sent you. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Commodity Culture is a series on commodities and natural resources. If you would like to see more, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're always up to date with the latest episodes.